Hi, you're very welcome. And in this video, I want to show you one of my what I call my Judge Judy pieces, real cases, real people. So just to say, first of all, these are all from Fake Name Generator, these names. But I had a scenario where somebody had 3 courses, all right? And really what they wanted to check was Zeta, my lovely VA, just wanted to check were there any duplicates. Okay, so obviously you can kind of go through it with painstakingly and do copy and paste. But I found myself thinking, I suppose you had 20 of these, or suppose you had like 100 per thing. How could you check it then? So I decided to just use Power Query for this. So the first thing to do is I'm going to convert each of these data sets into a table. So I click here, Insert Table, click OK. And then I'm just going to go up here to Table Design, up here, and then I'm going to cross here to Table 4, and I'm going to rename this to Course 1. All right, and just note no spaces in it. I then come down to Course 2, I do the same thing, click in it, Insert Table, click OK, to my Table Design up here, and then I go over to this one, which says Table 5, and it's just so that I know what course I'm referring to, and then Course 2, and the last one then is here, so Insert and Table, click OK, and again I'm going to call this Course 3. Now there's another one there, Staff Data. That's basically just a list of fake email addresses. So if you want to kind of experiment with those, you could. All right. So what I need to do for each of these, I basically just need to load these into Power Query. So I click on Course 1, go to Data, I go to a From Table Range. Here we go. And I come up to this one and I go to Close and Load 2. And I just say only create connection, because basically I'm sort of putting them in a holding room until I put the 3 of them together, and then I click OK. And then it appears over here on the right hand side. There we go. All right. Now I come to the same thing. I go to Course 2. I click on this one, Data, From Table Range, and same thing again. Close and Load 2. Only create connection. And I click OK. Now one just other thing I just want to mention that's very important is that all the headings in 3 courses all must be exactly the same, right? Otherwise, what I'm going to show you next, which is called Append, and it's like Lego stacking one on top of each other, won't work. So if one is kind of email address, see their email address, this one doesn't have a space, and then another one does have a space, you'll have 2 columns for email addresses. So just before you do this, just check that first. And that's then the last one. Then I just go to Data, From Table Range, and I go to Close and Load 2, and then I go Only Create Connection and click OK. All right. So it's like, if you imagine now I have 3 pieces of Lego, okay? And what I want to do is basically stack these 3 on top of each other. So let's say I click over here, and if I just go to click on one of these and do a right click, and I just go into Edit. And when I do Edit, that brings me back into my, let's say, Power Query. I could also do an append at this point, but let's just say we'll just do this one. So just go to Edit. Okay. Now I'm just going to go up here to Course 1, and then I'm going to go to Home, and then I'm going to cross this one, and there's an option that says Append Queries. I'm going to go Append Queries as New. And I've got 3 tables. So if there's Course 1, add Course 2, add Course 3. So you can see why this would be really useful if you had 20, 30, 40 tables that you just need to check for duplicates in. And that's, like I said, you could use the oldie copy and paste, but this kind of gets around that, and then click OK. Now once I've got this done, and I'm going to call this maybe Total List, Complete List, give it a name, and then I just Close and Load, and I go Close and Load 2, and this time I'm going to put it as a table, and let's say click OK. Right. Now what I can do then at this point is, I'm just going to move that there to the end, is I could have checked for duplicates in Power Query, but what I'm going to do here, and I'll just show you how to do that in a minute, but the quick way to do it here, if I go back into this one, highlight my email address, go to Home, Conditional Formatting, highlight Cells Rules, and then I go Duplicate Values. Okay, and then I click OK. Now you see then I can straight away kind of then filter, say I filter by color. I now can see, okay, all these ones are kind of in it, and what course are they in, or just if I wanted to even just check what course they're in. Okay, so I kind of know which ones they're, if there are any duplicates in it. Right? Okay. Okay, now one other thing I notice here at my list is that this list is fine, all right, and I have a duplicate, but I actually don't know who's in what course, all right. So what I can do then instead, which I should have done first, is if I could just go to this one, I'm just going to put in a new column and I'm going to call it course, all right. And I'm just going to call this course 1, and then just double click to copy it. And then I'm going to go to course 2 and make sure I'm adding another one which says course, and go to this one and type in course 2, and then, whoops, just double click to copy it. And then if I go to course 3, type in course, and let's say call this course 3. And then I click on this one. Now, if I go back into my complete list and I do a refresh, data, and then refresh, see now I get course 1 here. Okay, so now when I come up to this one and I filter by color, I can now see, okay, yeah, there's Ponto Bunce here. All right, and also check, let's say, where is he as well? He's also course 1 and course 2. So then that makes it easier then for me just to check, and I could even then maybe just come to this one and go A to Z. All right, and see there, Alfreda's in course 2 and course 3. All right, and that just makes it just easier for me to check it if I want to. All right, so I hope you found this useful, and as always, if you've got any other questions, just come back to me. Okay, mind yourself, take care, bye.